What I want to talk about today is CC United's ITPA program. ITPA is a new training program with a weird acronym. Many of you may not even know what ITPA is really about. To start with, ITPA stands for Intense Technical and Positional Awareness. Of course, the real question you're asking is, what is ITPA really? Why is it needed? And how will it benefit our players? To fully understand why we have ITPA and why it's necessary, let's take a look at the 5 primary areas of development that we use when training our players. The first and the foundation, probably the most important, is technical training. This is where we're working with them on the basic skills of soccer: passing, receiving, dribbling, control on the ball, comfort on the ball, finishing. Now these are all skills that are easy to learn but very difficult to master. So to fully benefit from technical training, it has to be constant and ongoing training. The second area is small group tactics. Now with small group tactics, that's when we're doing the 3v3s, 4v4s, 5v5s, target games, possession games. All of these are used in practices to try to teach the building blocks of the larger 11v11 game. The third is team tactics. So we're talking about, depending on your age group, 6v6, 8v8, 11v11. How does a team operate as a group? How do they attack? How do they defend? How do they move off the ball? What is a formation? Transitioning from offense to defense, and the like. The fourth area is individual positional understanding. Now with this one, what we're talking about is within the scope of the big game. What is the role of an outside midfielder? What do they need to be able to do? What do they need to be looking for? What skills do they need? And the same thing, of course, for a central midfielder, an attacker, a defender, a goalkeeper, or any position. And finally, we take what we've developed from these 4 areas and we put it into the game application. So can we take these skills and make it show on the field? Now looking at these areas and taking a look at the traditional team model, all of our teams should be focusing or working on technical training. Unfortunately, for a variety of reasons, primarily time, also to a certain extent the level of interest in players, technical training is not one of the key components of our team training environment. Now we do have ice soccer, which works on the technical training, but looking at specific technical skills that you may need a position, there may be more needed there. Small group tactics is probably the foundation of our team training. And this is, like I said before, dealing with the 3v3s, the 4v4s, the 5v5s, playing to targets on the outside, 6 goal games, all the things we do to try to teach the various aspects of the game. And of course, teams will also work on taking these small group tactics and putting them into the big picture. This is the basic model for our team training. There's a technical component, a lot of small group tactics, and of course, finally, can we put that into the big picture? What is not dealt with a lot is the individual positioning understanding. And one of the reasons is there's very limited amount of time that we have in the course of a season to try to get across to the players everything we need. It's tough to spend 3 practices on the role of the outside midfielder, or we're going to focus on the role of the central defender. So it's difficult in a big team environment to do that, because of course we're trying to cater to the needs of the entire squad, not just 2 or 3 players in a practice. And of course, the technical training is somewhat limited in what we're getting. So the 2 areas that we really need to focus on are the individual positional understanding and their technical abilities. So this is where ITPA gets its purpose. What we want to do is take a look at what areas may individual players not be getting everything they want from the team training model. So we take a look at these 2 areas. Can we take technical training to the next level? Can we not only focus on getting more technical training, more repetitions, but can we cater this technical training to the needs of individual positions? We also want to take a look at the entire team, how the team operates, but specifically, what is the role of each of those positions? What are your options available to you? What is your job if you're a flanker, a central midfielder, a central defender, at the older age groups, outside defenders? What does a striker need to do to put the ball in the net? So to look at this more specifically, let's look at defenders. Now in possession, we've worked hard to get the ball. We don't want to just kick it back up the field and hope that we hold on to it. We want to try to build from the back. We want to create opportunities. At the same time, we want the defenders to realize that they're in a very risky position with the ball at their feet. If the defender loses the ball, it's an immediate attack for the other team. So we need to teach them to play safely, play smart. But can we play safely and play smart and still hold on to the ball, still create attacking opportunities? So when we take a look at that, we say, what technical skills does a defender need to have to be successful? They need to be good at receiving the ball. They need to have good ball control. They need to be able to deliver a pass on target. Beyond that, we look at what are the tactical applications? What do they need to understand? As soon as they receive the ball, do they know who's available to them? They have their central midfielder. They have the flanks. Can they hit the striker right off the bat? If they're in trouble, can they use their goalkeeper to relieve pressure? So we take a look at the role of possession, what a midfielder would do, what someone on the flank would do, what a striker would do, is different than what we'd expect our defenders to handle. So we take that and take a look at what does the game mean for a defender? How is it different? And let them explore what the role of a defender is and how they can be successful. Now when we take a look at the wide midfielders, in some ways they have the exact same goals. Everybody attacks, everybody defends. When they have the ball, they're trying to hold on to it. They're trying to see if they can create opportunities. But despite all the similarities, the wide midfielder job is different. The wide midfielder, more than any other position, has lots of space to work with. We need to teach them how to be able to use that space. What that means is they need to first recognize the space, recognize where it is, and realize how can they use it. Can I play a ball into space to somebody? Can I dribble into that space? When I have the ball, what are my options? Can I play laterally to my central midfielder? Can I find a penetrating pass to the forward? If I'm in trouble, can I cycle it back through the defense? If they're overloading, can we try switching the fields? But then beyond that, we look at what are the technical skills that a wide midfielder needs to be successful. Of course, again, they need to be able to receive. They need to be able to pass. They need to have good ball control. They need to know how to shield. But even more so for like a wide midfielder, they need to be able to explode into space. They need to know how to dribble for speed. They need to know how to use body fakes to freeze the defense, to lead them off so that the pass can go somewhere else. So again, there's a lot of similarities, but there's differences. And what ITPA wants to do is help the players recognize the difference of the roles of the positions and then make sure they have the technical skills to be successful in that role. And finally, real quick, let's just take a look at attackers. Now, attackers, their job is very, very simple. Score goals. That's what we want them to do. But how to do that, of course, is very complex. Do they know how to create opportunities? Do they know how to put themselves in position for that finishing shot? Do they have the technical abilities to make that happen? Can they receive and can they hold? Do they know how to combine with a midfielder? Do they understand the ideas of creating space? Can they beat their opponent? And they don't have to beat them to goal, but can we create just enough space to get off a shot? All of these things that attackers need to be successful is what we're trying to create here. So that's what the ITPA is about. What our goal is to see is can we take the training that players are receiving in their team environment and take it one step further? Can we teach them the needs, requirements of individual positions? Can we teach them what a midfielder is going to see, what they can do, what they need to be aware of, and then give them the technical training they need to be successful in that role? Now, obviously, we haven't talked about lesson plans. We haven't talked about all the different sessions with the positions. That would take a lot longer than the 10 minutes we're taking here. I didn't think you wanted to be here for 3 hours. But this should give you a general idea of what we're trying to accomplish with the ITPA training program.